So let's see some very simple Juniper and other networking devices lab. So my goal is like just put it in under 5 minutes, just like a refresher for everyone who wants to like just go through some crucial aspects of any implementation, right? For example, if I start with this particular lab, the goal is like it is under 5 minutes. That's first point. The second point is like, okay, if you set up a very simple single area implementation, right? What are the crucial things that you might possibly look into? So there are many things that you might look into when you're starting to form a neighbor relationship within an OSPF under a single area. In this particular lab, what we'll consider is like we'll see what are the different database parameters that are exchanged, right? We'll also see the types of LSAs that are exchanged, and we'll also understand like what are the types of routes, right? So I have like two routers which are connected back to back. So one is um, VMX1 and the other is like VMX9. So we'll consider it as R1 and R9. We'll log into the routers now and we'll try to set up some quick interfaces, and let's try to get this done under 5 minutes, right? So let me start by setting up the loopback interface. Loopback address is all lines 32, and it's a GE009 interface. So let me set up this GE009 interface. Unit 0. Oops, family inet address. We'll say 99 router 1 and router 9 and the router number, so it is 9919.9/24, right? And if I do a show compare, I see that I have just set up two interfaces. Now what we'll do is like we'll set up OSPF in area 0. We'll add these two interfaces to OSPF. So we do it under edit protocols OSPF hierarchy in Juniper. So we do it. I didn't commit the configuration yet, so that's the reason why you're not seeing anything. So just want to make sure everything is clear. So I'm going ahead and committing the configuration now. So as soon as this is done, what I'll probably see is like, since it is a single router implementation, I should not see any other types of LSAs except for router LSA, which initially gets kicked off. There are no network LSAs as such because there is no concept of DR or BDR yet. This is a broadcast segment, right? So these two interfaces are in the state waiting. Now let's go to router 1 and we'll try to quickly do the same thing and see what happens there, right? So we log in as user lab, configure, set interface loopback 0. We'll put it as all ones 32. For the same 009 interface, let me say 191/24. Let's do a show compare and let's configure the protocol OSPF and say area 0 interface 9.0. It's good to be specific on the interfaces. I could have done interface all, but I wanted to be specific. So let me commit the configuration. Now if I say interfaces, I do see that one has immediately went into BDR, right? So it's a broadcast segment, and we do see router LSAs from all ones and all nines, and there is a network LSA because in a broadcast or a non-broadcast segment, when you have DR or BDR, you do have type 2 network LSA. You have type 1 router LSA and type 2 network LSA. When you bring in another area, you would also see more LSAs, which we are going to do next. So I'm doing an extensive on the interfaces. We are just saying like the adjacency count, what are the hello and dead timers here, how they are negotiated. Let's do a database extensive as well. See if we can pick up any good information there. So even in the extensive of the database, we see each and every LSA. We see the metric, it's bidirectional, aging timer and stuff, right? So the goals of this lab was like understand the type of routes, understand the type of LSAs that got generated, and understand what sort of route would that be. So that's an intra area route, right? So it's an OSPF metric 10, and it's not accompanied by anything. It's an intra area route because the routes are exchanged within the same area 0. So that's about it. Thank you so much. And once it is